Okay, as we're wrapping up our unit on nonfiction reading, remember that we had to kind of plan B the project because of the lack of technology with enough time to do an in-depth research of your topic. So we're going to treat this text set as your research. We're going to treat this text set as your research, and we're going to be practicing the same standards that you would have done if you were doing a report, but in our case, we're going to be creating an informative essay, okay? Now, we've done personal essays, we've done opinion essays, but we haven't done an informative essay. The purpose of an informative essay is to teach your reader about your topic. So you're going to be explaining. All right, so what is the first thing when you're given a text set with the task of writing an essay? What's the first thing you're going to do, Bryn? Pardon me?
You're going to write the
Oh, you're talking about annotating? Okay. Actually, even before you do that, you kind of want to give yourself a purpose for reading. Lorenzo? You want to give yourself a purpose for reading. Galila? No? Close. Now, I know we haven't done this in a little while, but think back a little bit when we gave you the zoos text set. Okay? Before you even read, you do have to do something. Emma? Yes, exactly. Good job. You're going to go to the writing prompt. You're going to go straight to the writing prompt because you want to give yourself a purpose for reading. You want to give yourself a lens. Okay? Think about it as putting on a pair of glasses that can only see certain things or that only look for certain things. Now, you probably learned this in third grade, maybe even second, depending on your teacher, but there is something called close reading, C-L-O-S-E, close reading. That is when you repeatedly reread the text over and over again, but each time you read it, you're looking for something different. You put on a different pair of glasses to look at something. All right, so when we're approaching a text set, we start by looking at the writing prompt because we want to use the language of the prompt to write our thesis statement. Now, one of the things I did notice on some of your essays when I read them is that some of you, your thesis didn't quite match up with what they asked you for in the writing prompt. So you're going to want to make sure that you are reading carefully and writing a thesis that is going to be closely meshed with that. All right, so let's take a look at this one. It says, the passages you read, the passages you're going to read, were about birds. Write an informational essay in which you explain the ways birds survive in their environment. Okay, so go ahead and underline those words. Explain the ways birds survive in their environments. So we need to turn this into a thesis statement. So take a minute to think of a thesis statement and jot it down on that page. Remember, a thesis statement is going to be the controlling thought of your entire essay. Go ahead, Jerexy. It's the controlling thought. You can write a thesis statement just by reading the writing prompt. You do not have to read the text set. Emma is writing furiously. Give me a thumbs up when you have your thesis statement written down. Okay, Aiden, you want to share?
All birds survive in their environment.
Okay, so the problem with that is it's not a sentence. How birds survive in their environment is a title or a heading. It's a very good start, but it's not quite there. Take off that word how.
Birds survive in their environment.
Okay, so can you see now it's become a sentence, right? Okay, so that's very close. Okay, that's very close. I would not say that that is not a good thesis statement. It certainly matches this. I think we can get a little bit better. Okay, I think we can get a little bit better. We can just add something on to what Aiden has here, and we can make it a little bit closer here. Emma, you want to try? And the problem is, again, is that it's not a sentence. The ways that birds survive environments is not a sentence. It's just like Aiden's. He put how in front of there. Okay, anybody else want to try? Natalie? Say it again. But that's not a thesis statement. Not a thesis statement. Haley?
Birds survive in their environment.
Okay. Jalila?
Birds survive in their own way.
Survive what?
Birds survive in their environment.
Okay, that's closer. Birds survive in their environment in their own way. Closer, but not quite. Agency, you want to try?
Birds survive in their environment.
That's not a sentence, it's a title. It's exactly like Emma's. And see, this is what I was seeing when I was reading your essays. Okay? It's a really big problem, guys. I don't quite know whether it's second grade. I think it starts in second grade. You got to know what a sentence is. You got to know what belongs in a sentence. You need to have a subject and you need to have a predicate. You need to have something or someone doing something, okay, for it to be a complete sentence. Galila, you want to try again?
Birds survive other animals.
No. No. Because that's getting very specific. Roman?
Birds can live in their environment in crazy ways.
That's an opinion. Okay, so Aiden K. Give me yours again. Birds
Survive in their own environment.
Birds survive in their environment in many ways. Okay, that is a sentence. Birds, that's our subject. Survive in their environment, that's our predicate. Now, the many ways comes in because the writing prompt says, explain the ways. Go back up here. Explain the ways birds survive in their environments. And we can even just, let's put the S on the environments. Birds survive in their environments in many ways. I will go in and see if there are any iReady or Freckle lessons that I can assign you to help you to learn what makes a sentence. Okay, because obviously that's kind of a gap in your learning for some of you, and you're not recognizing it. I think that's why the language test that we just took, which I haven't passed back yet because Jirexi is still taking it, the language test scores for this week were not that good. And what I noticed was a pattern of not recognizing a sentence where a period needs to go. So obviously we have some more work to do in that area, and we need to practice more. Okay, so once you have your thesis, and remember, this is our thesis statement. We wrote it to the prompt before we started to read because we want to have a purpose for our reading. So our lens is going to be ways that birds survive in their environment, right? So when we read the text set, that's what we're looking for, okay? So our next step, and I'm probably going to give you about 25 minutes to get this done. Your next step is to read the text set. Now, as you read, remember, you're going to want to write. You're going to want to stop because this is where we practice what we learned in our reader's workshop. Eyes up here, please. You read a section, and already it's broken into smaller sections for you. You stop at the end of the section and you ask yourself, what is this part teaching me? What is the author trying to tell me here? And you jot in the white space. You're annotating. You're annotating. Putting words. You don't have to write incomplete sentences. Just put a couple of words. So let me model for you. Okay? Let me model for you a section so that you can see what I'm talking about. Source 1, bird beaks. Birds have different types of beaks. They use their beaks as tools for survival. Birds don't have teeth, so they need their beaks to search for and eat food. I'll wait until you stop scooting your chair. So they need their beaks to search for and eat food. Look at how their beaks compare to many tools we use every day. And so I'm just going to write right here, beaks equal tools. Notice it's not a sentence. It's just a couple of words in the white space. Next section, long, slender beaks. Some birds have long, thin beaks that look like straws. An example of this is a hummingbird. Hummingbirds stick their tongue through their long beak to suck the nectar out of flowers. These birds are able to fly from flower to flower quickly to get the food they need through their beak. Okay, so long, thin beaks. Equals a straw. It works like a straw. Okay, so for the next 25 minutes, I want you to read this text set and annotate the text. You started a little bit yesterday, so you should be able to finish in 25 minutes. So go ahead and start annotating the text. And we'll come back in 25 minutes.